All right, I'm going to tell you the top 3 things I wish I would have known before getting a cow. Hey everyone, I wanted to come inside to do this video just because it's a little windy outside today and I think you'll be able to hear me a lot better in here. But you got to meet Lola. She's an amazing cow. She's beautiful. She's very docile and I'm extremely happy with her so far. But I wanted to make a video about 3 things that I wish I would have known 30 days ago before actually purchasing her. And so I want to answer the question, why did we even get a cow in the first place? And that might help fill in some of your questions. So my wife and I, it's been our dream to be homesteaders. Going back for the last like 3 or 4 years, this is something that we've been growing in our skills steadily over the years in order to get to this place. So we started off with chickens, gardening, milling our own flour, planting, hatching eggs, like you name it. We've been slowly accruing these homesteading skills, and we felt like the next step was to get a cow. You know, we wanted raw milk. We want to make cheeses. We want beef. And, you know, with the price of beef these days, raising your own cattle, that's one way to do it more economically. So, and we also want to just pursue self-sufficiency and a healthier lifestyle. A lot of the food that's in our grocery stores today is GMO. It's sprayed with toxic chemicals and herbicides, and it's grown in a way that it's depleted of nutrients. And there's a lot of problems with beef as well. And so having organic, grass-fed beef is what we want for our family. And so all those health benefits that come with that. We also just wanted to homestead because we want to raise our children. We have 3 kids, a 4th on the way, and we want to raise them in an environment where they can actually meaningfully contribute to our family. And so, you know, I believe that that is a great source of self-esteem when a child knows that he or she is needed in the family economy. And so we wanted to give our kids that opportunity to contribute, not just in this abstract, oh, we love you and your presence is how you contribute. No, but like you actually are useful to the family based on the work that you do. And I think that for kids, as they grow into adolescence and adulthood, will be a place where they can be really grounded and acquire a lot of self-esteem. So those are the reasons why we wanted to homestead and why we got cows. But the top 3 things that I wish I would have known 30 days ago, I'm going to share those with you. So number 1, let me see what I wrote down here. I want to get it in order. Is this cow halter trained? Meaning, can you put a halter or a harness on her head or his head and lead this cow? Maybe not so the term is halter breaking. So is this cow halter broke? And that is something I really wish I would have asked. I had no idea what the term even was. You know, there's a lot of people who they raise cows and they never end up needing to halter break any of their cattle because of they never actually need to move their cows like individually like this. Maybe they're not on a regenerative permaculture homesteady farm, but maybe they're just like in a more commercial environment and they would have no need to ever put a cow in a halter. But if you're just gonna have a family dairy cow, having a cow that is halter broke will be very important. So our cow, she's 2 years old, and I don't think the previous owner ever had her in a halter, and I don't think that was his goal with her, so it makes sense. But it's incredibly difficult to milk a cow if you can't get her to where you want her to go. Having a cow that's halter broke could make your life a lot easier. And so I would ask that question. Does she know how to wear a halter? Is she okay being led? Like, can you lead her where you want her to go? And is she a docile, calm animal? Is she trained in that way? So that's number 1. Because if you get a cow stuck in her ways that's 2, 3, 4 years old, and she wasn't trained as a calf, you're going to have a hard time. And I'm learning that right now. Even though she's a great cow, she'll eat out of my hands. She's very friendly. I don't feel like I'm in danger around her at all. Like, she's a nice cow. She's producing a lot of milk for her calf. It's great. But does she go where I need her to go? Will she let me get close to her and pet her and put a harness on her and all those things? Right now, she won't. She just won't. So as a newbie, having the foresight to having asked that question, it could have, I think we still would have bought her, but it would have at least given me a more accurate picture of what I was getting myself into. Okay, so number 2 is having a realistic timeline. You want to have a realistic timeline for what your goals are. Okay, so 30 days ago, we bought this cow my wife and I, and we were talking about how great it was. We're going to have raw milk, family dairy cow. We're going to make all these cheeses and get raw milk and never have to buy milk from the store ever again. And we thought that that was going to happen within like a week. And we still have not been able to milk her because we need to train her still. Like, I just, as a newbie, having no prior experience, no real in-person mentors who have done this before to try to encourage me and give me realistic expectations, I had none of that. Just some YouTube videos and a couple conferences that we've been to. So if you have a cow that is not halter trained and she's never been hand milked before, and you have no experience like I do of actually training an animal like this, set realistic expectations. I would say don't even put a date on when you want to get milk by. Just say she will provide when she's ready, and you are involved in that process of helping her get ready. But it's not gonna, if she's not, you're not gonna get milk if she's not gonna let you milk her. So have a plan, like what you intend on doing to train this animal, this cow, to get her acclimated, to get her used to being in a stanchion where you can milk her, to get you used to like petting her and you're getting your hands close to her udders, because that's a very intimate location for her. And if she's not, doesn't feel safe around you, you're not going to be able to get milk. So I am now reassessing and recalibrating my original timeline. So I thought I'd be having milk right now, but we're at the beginning of April. I'm not even setting a date, but loosely, I'm going to give it at least 2 more months. At the bare minimum, at least 2 more months. So that would put us at like 90 days of having a cow and just strictly going through like the training process and getting her acclimated to our environment, to me, to my family, to me having my hands on her back and petting her and near her udders. That's going to take a long time. First, I got to get her halter trained and used to being in a stanchion where she's comfortable and she enjoys being in there. Like, it's a happy experience. And all that stuff's going to take time. That's going to take a lot of time. So don't stress yourself out by saying, by next week, I'm going to milk this cow, when you haven't even gone through these other steps. Third thing I wish, this is just more of an encouragement for anybody out there. If you have zero experience with cows, that's totally fine. That is totally fine. You do not have to have years and years of experience. Here's what I would say. Are you a learner? And is this something you're willing to devote a lot of time to? Those are the 2 things. Like, and are you actually like physically capable of doing this? So to give you an idea, we're doing rotational grazing. So I wake up in the morning and I rotate the cows to a new paddock every day. And that's something I learned from just watching different people on YouTube who are into permaculture and regenerative agriculture. And I think that's best for the cows. I think it's best for the land. I think it's best for the soil. So we're rotating her every day and she's eating grass. We have hay and sometimes we give her hay, but she's mostly eating grass. But are you able to actually be there with her in person? Are you actually able to be there with her in the mornings and during the day and at different times so she can get used to you? So you can have zero experience. You can hit the ground running. That's fine. But do you have the time, the ability, and are you willing to make it a priority? That's what I would say. Because there's a lot of things that we've had to give up. Like, I would say just like going out in the evenings and like we've had to restructure what we do in our evenings around our animals. And it's great. Like, it's united us as a family. It gives us a common purpose and it's been so much fun. But like, if you're not willing to do that and like you're easily disrupted by surprises and when your plans get changed, I would just restructure that. But if you really want cows, just get a cow. Like, don't let anybody tell you you can't. Just go get one and make sure you have the fencing and like the necessary room to have one and things like that. But if you have all that, go get a cow. And if you want one. The last thing I wish I would have known is like just how I need to be around a cow. I did not. So I thought the best thing for being for having cows and interacting with them is to just be kind and to be nice and, you know, to talk to them like they're a dog. This is a big animal. Sometimes they're between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds. So much bigger than you. You need to have a commanding authority. You need to have respect from this animal. And I think I was going about it the entire wrong way. Like, the animal needs to trust you and have positive experiences around you. But at the same time, she also needs to respect you. And that's something I'm learning right now is like, how do I thread that needle to get that balance? Because obviously I want her to come to me. I want her to like being around me. And I never thought I'd have to like be more stern with her. And so that's something that I'm growing into, is like my confidence around cows. And I've been watching videos about like people who are really experienced, and they're strategically rough with their animals, or strategically stern, and then they go back to being kind and sweet and nice. But if the cow does something that you don't want her to do, she needs to know that, and you need to rise up a little bit and be authoritative with this animal. And I just that wasn't even something on my radar, because I just thought you just need to be nice and sweet to these animals, and that's it. But there's also a whole level of like truly taking dominion and domesticating this animal and earning her respect and getting her to do what you want. And so I'm really early in that journey, but like just be prepared. Like it's not just all cutesy, come here and come here cow, eat out of my hand, and I'm gonna be nice to you and tickle you and pet you, and you're gonna give me all this milk. Like she's gonna try to kick you at some point. She's gonna be stubborn. She's gonna walk away from you. She's gonna try to like hit you with her head, and like she needs to know that those things are not okay. And like it's a real challenge. It's not just like you do this in a couple days sort of thing. So those are the 4 things I would say. Is she halter trained? Like know that first, because that might make your life a lot easier. Number 2 is set up a realistic timeline, and don't even put yourself up against a deadline when it comes to like training a cow, because it might not go the way you think it's going to. So give yourself that breathing room, and it's okay. Like if it takes 3 months, it takes 3 months. If it takes 5, it takes 5. But just be consistent. Be with her every day and understand that these things take time. There's a lot of great YouTube videos out there who teach people how to do this kind of thing. So I would, be looking at all those. If you have 0 experience, that's totally fine. Don't be intimidated by that at all. Just make sure you have the time and that you're willing to make this a priority. If you're not willing to make it a priority and you still want to go out for drinks every night at 6 p.m. with your friends and just live your best life, know your animals are going to come first, and you need to have a plan for how you're going to do that. So 0 experience is fine. We need more young farmers out there. And so don't let like, hey, I don't have 10 years of experience. I didn't grow up around this. Like, that's fine. So do it. Learn. Like, it is interesting. Like, it is rare. I think about like the circles that I engage with. I'm the only person in my community, like in my sphere of influence that I know, like in my church, in the workplace, with the people that I engage with on a day-to-day basis. Like, I'm the only one that has cows. It's a rare thing, and especially at 32 years old, it is a rare thing. So if you can do it, do it. Like there's already cattle shortages around the United States. It's better to be self-sufficient. It's really rewarding. There's a lot of purpose in it. Just go for it. I was a teacher before this. Like I wore a tie every day, and I worked at a desk in front of a computer. Like if there was anybody who wasn't going to own a cow, it was probably going to be me. Okay. But I love it. Like I've grown to actually love it. There's something that just fuses together with my DNA when I'm out there in the mornings, moving the cows and feeding them and getting them water. It is really amazing. And you just, as a Christian, like the whole dominion mandate, it just takes on a whole new meaning when you're actually doing it like this. And so anyway, don't be intimidated by 0 experience. And lastly is start working on having a commanding authority around animals. And if you're uncomfortable doing that, like just, you're going to have to learn. And so it might involve being stern with a cow, being bossy. And if that doesn't jive with your personality, like you're going to have to do it, because if you want to be safe around this animal, you're going to need to train her well. And so I'm in the middle of that. I'm in no place to like actually coach anybody in that yet. I'm the one being coached and learning, but just be prepared for that. Other than that, guys, get after it. You can make this easier on yourself by arming yourself with knowledge and knowing what you're getting yourself into and asking the right questions. But other than that, it's a lot of fun, especially if you have young kids. Like I'm convinced that this is one of the best ways to raise kids, is around farm animals and giving them a real way to contribute around the home. And so anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, if you want to follow and see part of my journey, make sure you follow. And yeah, we'll see you later, guys. Have a good one. And one more thing. Be prepared for negative comments. Be prepared for people, friends, acquaintances who just constantly remind you how hard it's going to be. It doesn't really help. You know, people might actually discourage you. They say, "Oh, it's going to be so hard." Haven't you ever just been to uh, aisle 12 at Walmart? Like, haven't like why go through all that trouble? Um, you know, anything worth doing, anything that's worth doing is hard. Okay. So just don't let anybody's negative comments um, really get to you. Okay. It's okay to go in there, you know, with the knowledge that things are going to be hard, but just you're going to have to let the negativity go in one ear and out the other. Okay. And remember who the negativity is coming from. Is it from somebody who never tries to challenge themselves with taking on a new task? Okay. Don't let the negativity get to you. There's going to be lots of people, and there will be people who are really encouraged, and it will inspire other people. Okay. And that's great. But just be prepared. There's going to be a few people out there who um, try to dissuade you, remind you how hard it's going to be, and this and that, and yeah, just in one ear, out the other. Like don't even bother listening to it. Um, it's pointless, anyways. Just thought I would say that last thing because it just dawned on me, and yeah, you cannot let that. You cannot take those comments and let them be what drives you. Okay, don't let it stress you out. All right, we'll see you guys.